Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Joe Rogan giving this was part of the whole red pill experience for this guest, but this is one of the little debates that they had about the election. Joe talked to Trump, and Joe didn't fully like what Trump had to say about the election. He wanted more concrete proof from Trump, but the proof beyond what Trump has to say is clearly there. We're going to be going through some charts showing you Kamala Harris and the states that she won. Can you guess how much ID was required in the states that she won? Go ahead and just take a guess. You think it was a lot of ID or you think it was no ID? Well, they're going to be talking about that a little bit. And Joe's guest, of course, is trying to fight this. Look at him. He's pondering with all his might. He's like, this is not how it works. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Orange man lies. Let's get into it, and then I'm going to be showing you some other stuff. Let's go.
Oh, the election case has the most substance to it. Standing up and saying the election's rigged, the election's rigged. I have a problem with that, but obviously more than half the country didn't have as much of a problem with it. And
that was one of the ones that I said was the weirdest, where he didn't have an answer ready. That you should have an answer ready right away. Well, if I had been accused of something like that, and I strongly believed that the elections were rigged, I'd be able to give you facts right away.
But he can't. Who's his facts? Rudy Giuliani and My Pillow?
Well, that's the thing, is I don't know how much time he has to investigate the cases, right? So he has probably people telling him things, and who are these people, and what is their evidence, what's their information? I would hope that if you have something that's so controversial, like you ran for president, you believe you should have won, and they rigged it, you should have data that you could spit out at any cocktail party.
But he's doing the same thing that you're talking about CNN and MSNBC do, which is just repeating the same thing. When people were standing in line voting a couple of weeks ago, he was saying this election was rigged. Mm-hmm. And poof, they've straightened it out because he won. But I don't.
What he was saying was they were trying to rig the election, and
what facts did he have to back that up?
Well, there's the one thing of bringing in people to the country illegally and then pushing for amnesty, which they were doing.
Yeah, I just don't know the numbers on it. And I don't know if there's
millions of people. Yeah. If you think about the amount of people that came into the country, right? And you think about how some of these swing states, their cumulative votes was like 75,000 that switched it one way or another. And just you can imagine if you're bringing in millions and millions of people and you're moving them to swing states.
Well, if that's true.
And the evidence against it was like, well, they're not all moving to swing states. Well, okay, you can't tell people where they can and can't move once they come to the United States. If they have family that's in Texas or if they have family that's in Arkansas or whatever, they're going to go wherever the they want to go. But a significant number of them were in the country. If you're bringing in 10 million people, you have quite a bit of a buffer. It's not a perfect system. But if you're trying to let people in illegally and then give them not just protection, but also money, food stamps, housing, taking care of them, and then giving them an incentive to vote for the party that did that to them when the other party wants to, they want to round people up in mass deportations.
Yeah, but putting party aside, what evidence did you see? Documentary evidence that people were registering to vote, and how many of them?
Well, it's not that they were registering to vote. The issue is that there's no voter ID, which is insane. You need an ID for everything. This ID
where is there no voter ID?
Harris won some states that require voter ID, contrary to online claims, fact check. So there's an online chart that's incorrect that people are passing around.
See, this is exactly.
So what states did she win that have voter ID? Well, there's certain like deep blue states.
I hear you.
Colorado and Rhode Island.
But look what just happened.
So is that two? Is that the two? Vice President also won New Hampshire, which requires photo ID, but allows individuals without one to either have their identity confirmed by a designated official or fill out an affidavit. Harris also won both Delaware and Virginia. So there's a couple states that she won that have voter ID. But these are like these deep blue states.
Fair enough. Look, I don't know.
The question is the swing states.
I don't know enough about it, and I live in a world where I need the evidence. But backing up to the other election, look, I'm just saying, if there was one case where I was like, come on, man.
You know what's weird about the 2020 that we keep going back to is the amount of people that voted. That's what's really crazy.
Way more.
Way more.
And I don't know what to make of that.
Well, it's the first time ever you have mail-in ballots that are used ubiquitously. That wasn't a thing before. Mail-in ballots were essentially for people that were overseas.
Well, I think COVID had a big part.
Sure, it did, but also never miss an opportunity. And if you wanted to cheat, that would be the way to do it. And to try to keep voted mail-in ballots, keep people voting by mail-in ballots when it's not necessary anymore.
Well,
it's not a pandemic.
Sounds good.
Seems crazy.
It does, but it's not. To me, I live in a world that you cannot say shit like that without backing it up. But listen, I have started to really veer away from having a strong political view and just putting my head down and doing what I can. So I don't see the evidence on the prior election. I see the claim repeated a lot. I just didn't see
I don't see the evidence either, but I do see evidence that people are trying to make it easier for illegals to vote. That disturbs me. The pathway to citizenship has always been kind of difficult. And when you talk to people that have done it the right way, it's very hard. They have to go up for review. They have to hope that this person decides that they're a person worthy of being in this country. And you had to be a person of extraordinary skill and talent where that talent and skill wasn't available in the United States.
Listen, I recently moved out of New York to Florida, and I got my driver's license and registered to vote pretty quick after I moved there. My wife didn't. When we went to vote, they wouldn't let her vote because it hadn't been 30 days yet. So all I could say is that in Florida, they required an ID.
Yeah.
And they didn't let my wife.
Well, California literally passed a law where you're not allowed to ask for ID, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That's crazy. Well, why would you do that?
Andre,
what would be the most charitable version of why you would do that?
Yeah, Andre Ward and I have been discussing California quite a bit recently, and seems like it's a little bananas to live in California right now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Joe clearly asked him a question. What is the most charitable reason you can think of to do that in regards to California's law about not being allowed to ask for voter ID? And he just skims over it. Yeah, we've been talking about, me and my friend been talking about California. Hey, you're on the biggest podcast in the world. You just got to ask the question. You answering the question? That's all this guy was doing, skirting the questions, I don't know the numbers to that. If that's true, look what just happened in regards to Joe being not really wrong about what he said, but there was a state that Kamala won, there was a state that Kamala lost that required that didn't require voter ID. I want to say, I forget, I'll find it soon, but there was one that she lost, didn't require voter ID. And now this guy's sitting back saying, see what just happened there? He's like trying to go back to see what just happened. Like we're both having information and it turns out one of us was wrong. Oh, that's why you just can't trust anything. It's like, what? No, that's how finding information works. Some people have it. Some people don't. They clash. Some is true over here. Some is true over there. They leave with more information than they started with. What? Are you a lawyer or not? This guy, is he a lawyer or is he just a guy that just goes through the Rolodex and just goes, is that guy black? Let's get him out. He's black, right? All black? No half, right? Okay. Yeah, get him out. Let's get him out. What did he do? How many people did he? Oh, 5? But is he sorry? Oh, he's sorry. Okay, let's get him out. He served 6 months? 30-year sentence? Let's get him out. This is crazy what these people do to these young black men. Listen, they're jokes, guy. I know some people, there's going to be some black guys with dreads, the short dreads. They're going to be like, yo, bruh. Yo, Uncle Tom, yo. Relax, buddy. Just relax. But it is true. This guy's getting people out. Is that all he does? I don't know much about this guy other than what I see. That's all he does. He just gets guys out and he just, as they leave, he just goes, fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best. Oh my God. If they do anything wrong, it was the system that did it. Wasn't them. Not their precious hearts. That's all he does. He just releases black guys from jail and cries. I'm kidding. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Go watch the past episodes. Not the one where he brings a guy on who cuts someone's head off. Not that one. Don't watch that one. Watch the one before that one. That one's real good. I remember that one. Let's get into Dana White had something to say about this whole thing. Even Dana White can see what's going on.
Well, if you saw the election, the entire country relates with Trump right now. Won all the swing states. The only states she won were the ones that you didn't need ID to vote in. It would have been interesting if you needed ID, how that would have played out too. I think that the whole country, it feels like somebody hit the reset button. Everything feels and well, if you saw the
Dana White talking about if voter ID was needed everywhere, what states would Kamala Harris actually have won? That's an interesting question. It's a very interesting question. Who knows? I think, personal opinion, it would have been far less. It would have been like 90 electoral votes for her. I'm just saying, I don't think she would have done well in a lot of places. California, maybe I don't even know really. Maybe not. If they didn't pass that law, maybe California would have just been red, But Gavin Newsom can't show that. He's like, you can't embarrass me in front of my friends. I have a meeting with the lizard people. They're finally going to let me in. And then I get to run in 2028. I'm going to be AOC's vice president. Oh, man. Yeah, that's sad to say that might happen. That might actually happen. There's been buzzing around AOC and Gavin Newsom, of course. Oh, that's going to be terrible. Anyway, Dana White talking about their feeling like a reset button's been hit. It definitely does feel like that. I'm going to show you a more comprehensive chart map in a second, but Community Notes actually informed me. Let's find what that state was. Claims that Kamala Harris won every state that doesn't require voter ID. This is false. Kamala Harris did not win Nevada, which does not require voter ID. She did win Virginia, which does require voter ID. There you go. So not every place, but a lot of them. A lot. So you're seeing, let's actually get the cursor up here. So you're seeing no ID, no ID, no ID, no ID, non-photo ID. So that's a little different. So that's a place where you can kind of get away with a permit to drive or a permit to work kind of thing. And you can also register to vote that way. If you don't have a social, they ask you just to put the number into the permit. I actually know because I could have registered the vote in Arizona because they didn't require anything. They were just put it, you don't have a social, just put zeros in. And if you have a permit to work, go ahead and put that in. I was like, what? But, that's more common than you think. No ID over here, no ID over here, no ID, no ID, no ID. ID required. So see, there was some places, so we can count the ID required because that'll be quicker. 1, 2. So 2 places that required ID, she actually did win. Very small places, as you can see here, but still, she did win some places like that. So to those people, I say, get helmets. All you guys, whoever you guys are in that part of the country, get helmets. Just get helmets. Okay? Get helmets. And anybody who wants to invest in short buses, if they're around those areas, it's going to skyrocket. The short bus stock is skyrocketing in those areas. It's going up and up and up. The helmet stock, skyrocketing. So invest in helmets. Invest in helmets and short buses. If you live in those areas, it's a big business. You can start a helmet and short bus business in those areas, and you're going to be rich. Take my advice. Kidding, of course. Vote for who you want to vote for. And one of the last things that Joe touched on is how many people voted and how odd it was. Just so you can see on a chart how much it spiked up. You're seeing the one that's I'm over there. That's 2012. Then we see, let's go here. Then we see 2016. Then we see 2024. Then we see 2020. Just wow. Look at that. But you know what's even more impressive? Look at that. Man, Donald Trump. Look at my man right there. Good job, man. Good job. I can't believe I still I knew because I'm like these people are running on joy and they're angry. I'm like this is not going to work. Then I was like, what about this economy? Opportunity economy and communist price gouging, price controls? I was like, this is not going to, there's no way this is going to work. Mainstream media almost got to me. That's what happens when you have to do all this research. I have to watch the mainstream media all the time. So sometimes it seeps in and I'm like, well, come on, it's neck and neck. It looks like it's 50-50. Oh, it's a coin toss. I had to get that out of my head. So glad I did that 7-hour live. That got it out of my head. Get that out of here. Absolutely ridiculous. But that's the debate that they had. They went back and forth a little bit. This gentleman did not have any answer. For him to say, I live in a world where you can't say stuff like that. I live in a world where I need the evidence. But then in this same episode of the JRE, he goes and says, Trump's lied plenty. They've both lied. And then Joe's like, well, what do you mean? Trump's lied plenty. Can't provide any evidence, but still goes on to say it. How interesting is that? That's so fun. People on the left are so lucky that they get to do that. It's so fun being on the left because you get to be like, I live in a world where you can't say stuff like that and you need evidence. And then also you get to say stuff like that and not need the evidence. That's fantastic. That's great. You know? Yeah, that makes me want to sign up. I'm going to get a nose ring. I'm going to dye. I can't dye. I'm bald, but I'll dye my beard blue. I already got hand tattoos, you know? Oh my gosh. Such a fun place to be in, you know? Absolutely ridiculous. And again, it's like these guys don't think. On the even people who are very well to do, in actuality, let me just touch on this. In actuality, because I keep saying this guy's a lawyer, he's intelligent, this, that, and it's not that he's not. When you hear stuff like this, people who are intelligent, people who, and I put these quotations because people who are educated, not just high school, but college, university, law school, they're actually more susceptible to getting taken in by these hoaxes and this misinformation. They're actually more susceptible because all they need is the marker of, well, this is a double-blind study or this is what the experts say. You know, that's all they need. And then they go, oh, okay. I'm going to take this information in because I'm smart and that's from smart people. Okay. You know, and the people who aren't as educated, they're like, what's a double-blind study? I don't care. I don't believe it. Not doing it. You know? And you're like, well, that's a little ignorant. It's like, no. They just have a different set of facts that they have a different checklist that they're going through. They're not intelligent, you know? And that's all it takes. Experts say, well, teacher in high school, she was an expert and I didn't like her at all. She was a jerk, so I'm not listening to you. No, I don't believe you. Sorry. That's it. They just got a different checklist. That's all it is. You know? But that's a known thing. In regards to mass formation, when that takes place in a population, it's actually the people who would be seen as more educated that are the most susceptible to it. It's a little known fact. Look into that term if you haven't before. I'm not going to say it again because YouTube doesn't like it, and I'm always trying to please you, YouTube. Anyway. Whoever the human is that checks all my videos on YouTube, I hope you're having a good time, man. I hope you're enjoying the show. I'm glad you're here, buddy. I'm really glad you're here. Are you a lizard? Nah, I'm kidding. Do you have blue hair? You probably do. It's fine. If you don't, you probably know someone that does. It's fine. That's okay. I'm cool with that. What are you doing? You're sitting there. You're probably drinking a Frappuccino with like a bunch of stuff on it. Just like whipped cream, like that stuff. Is that what you're doing right now? Is that what you're doing? You probably have a big vape, a vape that's like this big. You're hitting it. Yeah. You probably have Rachel Maddow glasses. Is that what you're doing? Huh? Huh, buddy? Hey, don't worry, audience. This is just me and him talking right now. Hey, buddy, quit messing with my videos, okay? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love YouTube. We have a great relationship. We really do. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. It helps the channel tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.